It's 2 o'clock in the morning on July 5th, 2025. The sky above Voronezh, deep inside Russia, is calm. No alarms, no sirens, and absolutely no sign that anything is about to happen. But 300 kilometers away, near Ukraine's eastern edge, something is already in motion. From a remote field, a group of Ukrainians are setting up what looks like a box on a metal rail. It doesn't look like much. But in under a minute, it's in the air, heading straight into Russian territory. It's one of 4 drones, not the giant military kind. These are small, fast, and cheap, each costing less than a used iPhone. But they're armed, and they're smart, and they're headed for one of Russia's most important air bases, Borisovlebsk. This base is home to the same Russian jets that have been bombing Ukrainian cities for months. This base also stores glide bombs, huge precision weapons that can destroy a building from 40 kilometers away. Tonight, the plan is simple. Hit the glide bomb depot, damage or destroy a jet, and get out. But nothing about this is easy. By 2:10 a.m., the drones are already halfway there. They're flying low, just a few dozen meters above the ground. That's low enough to avoid radar. And they're constantly switching radio frequencies to stay hidden from Russian jammers. Even if Russia tries to block the signal, the drones are ready. They have backup navigation systems on board that don't rely on GPS. If they lose connection, they'll keep flying to their targets anyway. 8 minutes later, one of Ukraine's recon drones is already in position near the base, high in the sky and completely silent. It's feeding back thermal images, hotspots glowing in the dark. From those images, the drone operators identify everything: the location of the glide bombs, the positions of jets, the paths between hangars. They've done this before. They know exactly what to look for. At 2:24 a.m., the first strike drone arrives. It dives straight toward a flat, wide building. Inside are Russia's precision glide bombs. These bombs are waiting to be loaded onto jets and dropped on Ukrainian towns. The drone hits the roof, and then a flash, a low boom, then a second explosion inside the building, and seconds later, a third. The entire depot goes up in flames. Through the thermal feed, it's obvious. That building is gone. The second drone moves in right behind it. It locks onto a jet, maybe a Yak-130 trainer or an Su-25. The warhead strikes the hangar, right where the plane's tail is sticking out. The explosion is smaller, but the damage is done. A section of the roof caves in. The plane is burning. The third drone circles for a moment, then locks onto a Su-34 sitting outside. The same kind of jet used to drop bombs on Kharkiv and Dnipro. It drops straight down, slamming into the center of the aircraft. A burst of fire shoots up, and a huge black cloud follows. That jet is out. Inside the base, everything turns to chaos. Russian soldiers scramble. Crews rush toward the flames. Some try to power up fire trucks. Others run for shelter. But the attack is already over. It was clean, quiet, and precise. And now the fourth drone, which was held back as a backup, gets the call to return to base. No need to push it, the mission's already done. This is a tactic Ukraine's drone teams have been using more often lately, launching 4, 5, sometimes even 6 drones, but only assigning 3 or 4 to confirmed targets. The others stay on standby, flying wide holding patterns, waiting for a green light. Their job isn't just to be extra firepower, they're insurance. If one drone gets shot down, jammed, or misses its target, the reserve can step in and finish the job. Sometimes they're used as decoys, sent in late to confuse defenders about when the attack is really over. Other times they're redirected mid-air to hit new targets that were spotted during the strike. In past missions near Belgorod and Kursk, Ukrainian operators used reserves to hit fuel trucks and radar systems after the main strike wave cleared the path. But tonight, that kind of improvisation isn't necessary. Everything hit exactly what it was meant to. No jets scrambled, no interception, no jamming strong enough to stop the attack. So the reserve drone turns back and begins the long flight home, slipping through Russian radar like a shadow. Within 90 seconds, Ukraine has hit 3 high-value targets, and every one of those drones cost less than $2,000. But this isn't just about damage, it's about reach. Borisogledsk isn't close to the front, it's deep inside Russia. That night, Russia lost 1 glide bomb depot, 1 trainer aircraft, 1 Su-34, and temporarily crippled part of its support infrastructure. The cost? Tens of millions of dollars in equipment. The psychological hit? Even greater. But that night isn't over. Just hours after the flames are still burning over Borisogledsk, Russia strikes back. Not with a few jets, not with artillery, but with one of the biggest drone attacks since the war began. At around 5 a.m., radar operators across Ukraine begin picking up the signals. 322 drones are coming. Most of them are Shahed 136, long-range kamikaze drones supplied by Iran, rebranded by Russia as Guran 2. They're loud, slow, and built to explode on impact, but they fly in large numbers and cost almost nothing compared to a cruise missile. Some are launched from Crimea. They come in waves, dozens at a time, fanned out across the eastern and central regions. And they're not just flying straight. They twist, they climb, they drop altitude suddenly. Some even fly in wide arcs before turning back toward their targets. This isn't random. It's meant to confuse air defenses, exhaust Ukrainian systems, and open gaps. Each drone carries a warhead weighing about 40 kilograms, enough to destroy a transformer, punch through a roof, or flatten a fuel depot. Their engines scream like motorcycles in the sky, making it hard to miss them. But when you're tracking hundreds at once, even loud ones slip through. Ukraine's air defense network lights up. Electronic warfare units start jamming GPS signals, trying to throw the Shaheds off course. The battle in the air goes on for more than 2 hours. Out of the 322 drones, 157 are shot down. Some by missiles, some by anti-aircraft guns. Others just lose control mid-flight after their navigation gets scrambled. But not all of them are stopped. About 24 manage to get through. In Khmelnytsky, the shockwave from one of the explosions shatters windows in a residential block. In Vinnytsia, power goes out temporarily after a drone hits a substation. In Cherkasy, a warehouse catches fire. If you want to see more updates like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel.